join this way. All right, so the very first topic that we have is portion distortion. And the reason we're talking about this is because we're going into the holiday season, but it's always good to know about this as well. So learn to control your portions and therefore your weight. So everybody always has, I mean, it's like if you go to a restaurant these days and you get served a small portion, you're like, what? I didn't get my money's worth, right? We almost accept large portions. So being able to help you figure that out. Whoops, go back.
Can we have that?
So did you know that consuming an extra 100 calories a year without using them up can lead to a weight gain of 10 pounds? So 100 calories, that's not much. That's like eating too many nuts or an extra serving of, this is basically, we eat way more than 100 calories a day, and we don't even know it. So nowadays, if you go out to eat and you choose a salad at a restaurant, you think you're doing well, and it can have 1,400 calories, right? So it's really critical to be aware of that stuff. Every gram of carbohydrate, oh, calories is not spelled right, sorry, that was done this morning, equals 4 calories. Okay, so every gram of carbohydrates equals 4 calories, and every gram of protein equals 4 calories. And then fat actually equals 9 calories. Now, the reason I'm talking calories is because I know sometimes they've asked you to pay attention to calories. I personally say not to pay attention to your weight and not to pay attention to calories, because the weight will go when you pay attention to the grams. With each decade as we age, we need 100 fewer calories per day. So a lot of people still eat like they're 17 years old, and they can't understand why weight's an issue. Well, as we age, we don't need as much. We're not as active. So get this, 10 calories a day, which is 2 hard candies. So many people consume those like mints, right? They suck on mints throughout the day, or they suck on, what's that, butterscotch, whatever they are. 10 calories, 2 hard candies per day is an extra pound per year. So just 2. So if you think of where the hidden calories are, right? So the hard candies that don't seem like much, or a mint here and there, especially in lattes and drinks, there's a lot of calories there that you never even see. That can be helping the weight stay on. So how much should you be eating? So if I was to say a bowl, what would you think is and you're not allowed to answer this, I think, because I just told you the answers. But with rice, what do you think an accurate portion size is? A half a cup, cooked or uncooked? Cooked. Okay, so you've been schooled on that, right? So what would a half a cup of cooked rice look like? Not much, right? But if you actually cupped your hand, so if you took your hand and you cupped your hand, a half a cup would be in here. We're not talking like this, right? A half a cup is literally that. Now, when you go out to eat and you're going to a Thai restaurant or you're going to any place that's serving rice, they're serving 3 to 4 times the portion, right? So you always want to make sure that you're either, splitting a meal with somebody or asking for that on the side so that you can put that in, because they're giving you 3 to 4 portion sizes in one sitting, and we're eating it.
It's cheaper. Filler.
It's a filler. Absolutely, it is a filler. And pasta is pasta the same for you? So a half a cup of pasta looks even smaller. I think it's like 16 to 18 little noodles, right? It's pretty small. But what I always suggest is finding alternatives. So a great pasta alternative is spaghetti squash. I really think if I just served you plain pasta with no butter, no salt and pepper, no sauce, would you think it was good? No. It tastes like chewy cardboard, right? There's no flavor to it. Spaghetti squash is a great alternative. You also can get a noodler or zoodler, they're called. They turn your zucchini or sweet potatoes into noodles, and that's a great, great alternative. But spaghetti squash, believe it or not, my husband was like, ew, what's that? He loves it, and it's because of the sauce that we put on it, right? So we do tomatoes, onions, garlic. You can do a pesto with that as well, and then I do a bunch of burger, and then I will saute up some broccoli and with whatever meat that you want, burger or shrimp or anything, chicken, and you put it on top, and it's really filling. No, ma'am. No, because it's just like if you had, her question was, is it the same serving size? And that's no, not at all. So if you had cauliflower rice, right? If you make cauliflower rice or whatever, I mean, cauliflower is very low carb. So you can have a cup of that. Like
Also,
I say spaghetti squash is free. What's that? Okay, well, spaghetti squash is really good.
Yeah, that's my way to make cauliflower is so tasty.
But if you put garlic and butter and salt and pepper with some,
It's the carrier.
it is. It's like the, yes, exactly. You can make it taste better. So are you over serving? Peanut butter, I think, is the #1 thing that we overserve. And #1, if you get like Jiffy or like all the brand, it's like Crisco with some brown food coloring and sugar. It's not peanut butter at all, but that's okay. But what do you think a serving size is of peanut butter? But what is 2 tablespoons? What does it really look like?
It's little.
A golf ball. A golf ball of peanut butter
200 calories.
is 200 calories. Yes. So a serving of almonds is like 24. So that's a little bit more for your buck. But like if you do 1 scoop with your knife, and I mean, you're already at 2 servings, and you do another scoop, or then you just kind of scoop in. So peanut butter is a really big thing. And then cereal, we're always over serving. Okay, so look on the back of the box, and it will tell you the serving, measure it out. It's usually a 1/2 cup or a 3/4 cup. I mean, it's addicting, right?
No,
Oh. Protein. Okay, so what would you say is a serving size of protein?
Which one? They tell, yeah,
No, not up here. This
They
is
want to tell you 3 to 4 ounces.
yeah.
3 to 4 ounces, but what does that look like?
It's not, it's little.
No, that's too little. She said 1/2 of a chicken breast. So they say if you look at your hand, to do the size of your palm. Okay, so the size of your palm. A chicken breast is for everybody. Like this size here, like a chicken breast, that is good. And you can't really, I mean, yes, you can overeat protein, okay? But for the most part, if you want, I mean, this is obnoxiously overeating protein. Protein is a good thing to go a little more on, right? Because it's healthier than going with your carbs. So if you look at your hand, it's the width of your palm, but I say, you know, a minimum of 4 ounces, 4 to 6 ounces per serving. So what have you been using? You say 1/2 a chicken breast, but that's small. That's like 2 to 3 ounces. And you want to make sure that in order to keep lean muscle on your body, and when you want to lose weight, okay, when you want to lose weight, but more so lose fat, the key is to keep your protein up. If you want to lose weight and lose muscle mass, if your protein's low, you're going to lose, your body's going to eat your muscle. You don't want that because that gives you weaker. It makes your metabolism slow down, your metabolic rate slows down, your energy slows down, everything's just like, ugh. And then you're like, as I say, skinny fat. You know, we're skinny, but we're not really strong or anything. So you want to make sure that you have 4 to 6 ounces of protein. Or when I say like 20 to 25 grams. So if you're having a shake, you want to see that it's 20 to 25 grams. That's 4 to 5 times a day. Okay, it seems like a lot, but it's not. It's going to increase your metabolism. It's going to increase your lean muscle mass on your body, and it's going to help burn the fat, and it's going to keep you fuller longer. So this is the part of your hand. So we talked about that, the size of, oh my goodness, go next. What's happening? Okay. All right, so this is, so everyone wants to know, well, how much protein should I be having, right? So take your weight, what you are right now, and divide it by 2.2. Okay, so I always say 150-pound person. So 150 pounds, divided by 2.2 gives you 68.8. Now, depending on if you're sedentary or active, you'll multiply it by 0.8 or 1.8. Okay, so if you are a sedentary, if a 150-pound person, they're sedentary. Now, sedentary means, to be honest, don't. We often say, well, I'm really active. Well, maybe you're really not. If your job means that you're walking, if you're getting 6,000 to 8,000 steps a day just because of your job, you're not active, in my opinion. You're not doing anything extra. You're just walking and walking. You know, you want to make sure. So 7, if I say 0.8, 68 times 0.8, you're looking at, I can't even do the math right now. It's like 54 grams. That's on such a low end. I always say that to maintain lean muscle mass, you want to have 1.0 to 1.5 grams. Okay, when I say working out daily, that means you're doing a little bit more than like sitting and walking from your car. You're doing a fitness class, you're walking on the treadmill, you're speed walking, you're doing something extra than daily living.
Let's convert that. What that really means.
So you are 192 divided by 2.2 is 87.2 times 1.5. That's 130 grams of protein per day for you. No. But the problem is so many of us are not doing this, and we're afraid that if we eat protein, we're going to get big and bulky. That is such crap. Like, in order to keep lean muscle mass on, to keep your metabolism up, to keep you feeling fuller longer, you need to have this. So 135, say you're doing 3 meals and 2 shakes, divided by 5, that's 26 grams of protein 5 times a day. And an athlete, they'd be 1.8. Carbohydrate portions. So this is a debatable topic. So many people will talk about carbohydrates, but what would you say a serving size is for carbohydrate? 8 to 10 grams per meal. How many times a day? 4 times a day?
4 to 5.
Okay. So yeah, a serving is usually 20 to 25 grams of carbs. So it's the half a cup of oatmeal, a half a cup of brown rice, a quarter cup of quinoa, a half of a medium sweet potato. That would be like an apple, a medium-sized apple, a banana. Now, I went from complex to fruit. So what's the difference? Why complex over fruit? Okay, complex when you eat it. So complex means oats, brown rice, quinoa, sweet potatoes, those carbs. When they go into your system, they stabilize your blood sugar, your insulin levels longer. They take longer to break down, therefore keeping you fuller longer. When you eat fruit, you often are like hungry a lot quicker. Well, that's true because they break down faster. Your insulin goes up a little bit higher because they break down into sugar faster. So then your insulin spikes a little bit more, and then you're hungry a little bit faster. So I always say, am I against fruit? No. I prefer my people to have complex carbs if that's their choice, like if there's a choice there, right? Because now, when would you need a faster burning fruit? Like if you wanted a banana 45, 60 minutes before a workout, that's going to digest, so then you can use it as energy. It's not going to sit on your hips, right? Because it's going to burn a little bit faster. Immediately following workouts, any workout that involves strength training, within 30 minutes of that workout, you want to have a serving of protein, and a complex carb. Okay, that's really critical to fueling your body, to having your body burn that for energy, as well as maintaining body mass. So I love this. I know him personally, and I think this is perfect. And basically what this is
Yeah.
Okay. 0 to 50 grams a day is basically meaning you're in ketosis. Okay. So it's intermittent fasting. It can work. It does work. But you've got to be careful if you're exercising or anything like that. Your goal should be, and I don't know, granted for this group, I was talking to maintenance, so I'm not sure, but 50 to 100 grams a day to lose 1 to 2 pounds of fat per week. Now, if you are working out and you're keeping your carbohydrates between 50 and 100 grams, when I say 1 to 2 pounds of fat per week, that will not, more than likely, show up on a scale. Where that will show up, if you're working out in strength training and creating lean muscle mass, where that will show up is your body fat is going to decrease, which we want, especially in the midsection. Your lean muscle mass will increase a little bit. Now, this is when we can do your body composition. Where was I? And then your inches. So your waist, your hips, your butt, your thighs should shrink, right? So a lot of times when people eat like this, it's not that shocking, dramatic weight loss. You will see this as like a 4-pound, 3 to 5 pound weight loss in a month, but your body composition should look tremendously different. You should be down like a half or a full pant size, right? Like that should be, because that's where the weight, when we hold it, that's where we're gaining it, is right through here. So 50 to 100 grams a day. Now, if I was working out, how would this look? Okay, so in the morning, I work out early in the morning. So I wake up early, I could get a protein shake I mix a half a cup of oatmeal in my protein shake in my blender. I don't even taste it. The oats, I put the oatmeal right in, blend it up, and I drink it down. And then afterwards, I do the same thing. So right there, I already am at 50 grams, right? But I have fueled my workout. And if you're going to fuel your workout, it needs to be 60 to 90 minutes before, because if you eat it 10 minutes before, it's not broken down. It's not going to use that energy. Make sense? So if you don't eat before a workout, you want to have that 25 grams immediately after your workout to help keep your lean muscle mass, and it will use that as fuel. And then I would say having a 25 grams, like a serving of carbs for lunch. And then if you wanted to have like a shake or something, or a protein and a carb snack, I say to stay away from carbs at night, because carbs are there to fuel us. Carbs are there to give us energy. Carbs are there to help us get through the day. What we do is usually people carb load at night. They eat a lot more carbs than they need at night. What this does to your body is, number one, it doesn't allow you to sleep, because your body is trying to process this, right? So your insulin spikes, your body's working overtime. You feel tired, right? You can go to sleep, boom, and then you wake up. That's what happens to a lot of people. And it's because your body's working overtime. So a protein, a veggie, and a healthy fat, a nice serving of healthy fat, avocado or butter, coconut oil, olive oil, goat cheese is a great one, some nuts, egg yolks, I know sometimes cottage cheese, that really sinks in. And that will help you stay fuller throughout the night. Your insulin levels won't spike, and then the carbohydrates won't be sitting on your hips in the morning. 100 to 150 grams if you like where you're at, but you're working out, you're not trying to lose weight. Stay within that range and play with it. You'll know. You can tell how you feel. And then 150 to 300 grams is a default zone. That's usually what we have for a grain-based diet. What is a serving and what is best? Okay, so 1 cupped hand, right? So for a cupped hand for carb, we know that that's a half a cup. Okay, so measure it out, or actually do this. So you eye that. And people say, well, I don't want to measure my food. Measure it once and you'll remember it. Do you know what I mean? That's an excuse basically not to stick with it. Stick with all the veggies you can eat non-starchy. Veggies, non-starchy vegetables are 100% free. Load them up. I like to do a salad. I like to saute mushrooms and broccoli. and some peppers. I like to saute them in some butter and then put them on top of my salad with chicken or shrimp, and I like to put an avocado or goat cheese, a few cranberries with some balsamic oil. That's awesome because you have a hot, cold, you have a protein, it's savory, it's a really good. Moderate your complex carbs, right? So in the morning and at noon, sure, you have a long, busy day. That when I say, you guys know the crash I'm talking about, like 1 to 3, 2 to 4, where you're like, oh my gosh, I need to pick me up, I need something sweet, I need coffee, I need carbs. I would recommend doing a protein shake right there. Your body is running low on fuel, and if you're starting to crash and then you grab something carbohydrate, you're doing exactly what you don't want. You're spiking your insulin, your cortisol, you're going to store it, and then you're going to crave something even more in the evening. So having a protein shake during that time is key. And then I'd say 1 to 2 servings of fruit per day if that's something you want. So many people eat way too much fruit, and then they process packaged carbs, and they don't understand why they can't lose weight. So just being mindful of that. This is a great aid. If you look at it, you know, it's telling you 1 cup is 1 small banana, 1 large, you know, so being able to kind of eye this and see this, and I can send this to you guys if you would like it too. I really don't know. I can send it to you though, because I have your email.
Please.
I will. And whoever's 205-6301, make sure you email me so I know who you are, so you can get that. Measure it out. Okay. Oops. Go back, please. Sorry, this is not my computer. I'm not sure how to do it. Okay, so this is a great visual. So when you're out to eat, or you're at a buffet, or there's different things, it's like, okay, well, oh my God, there's a fear. Number 1, you do not have to clean your plate, right? But if you have fruit the size of a baseball, that's pretty, I mean, that's a pretty common thing. We know how to, a half a cup, okay? We've done this now. You know that your cupped hand is a half a cup. Whether you like it or not, it's true. So for fresh, frozen, or canned fruit's a half a cup. A quarter cup is even smaller, obviously. It's like half of that. I don't have like anything on my hand to show you for dried fruit, and a half a cup for fruit juice. Fresh, frozen, or canned veggies is a half a cup. Now, I think that's because of the sodium and the preservatives that come with that. Fresh is a little bit different. Obviously, green beans would be a little bit more free. Corn and carrots are more carb-loaded veggies. And then veggie juice, again, is a half a cup. Fats. Oh my God, don't eat fat, you'll get fat. And we're the heaviest we've ever been. Fats, in order to lose weight, you have to eat healthy fats. Your body needs healthy fats, your brain needs healthy fats, your memory needs healthy fats, your joints need healthy fat. Stop being fearful of no fat, low fat, the heaviest I've ever been, and the most sugar cravings. Because here's the deal. When it says low fat, no fat, they have omitted real fat and put sugar in for that fat. Okay, so what happens is, instead of having a real nice clean fat, you have sugar, it spikes your insulin, spikes your cortisol. So if you look at your thumb, this is the serving of fat, like 1 to 2 tablespoons. That's the length of your thumb. That's a really good idea. You know, if you were to take to figure out fear fat and processed packaged foods, cakes, cookies, treats as well. Okay, that's the stuff that's going to make you fat. You know, the processed packaged goodies, the baked goods, the whatever, the crackers, all of that stuff, because it's been processed. It's like, if you had, I know when I say to people that you can eat bacon, you can eat egg yolks. I want you to eat bacon. I want you to eat egg yolks. I want you to eat chicken thighs. I want you to eat darker meat. I want you to eat egg yolks. I want you to eat avocados. And they're like, oh my God. And it's like, okay, their sugar cravings go down, their waist goes down, their hunger goes down, everything goes down, and their weight goes down, and they feel really good. They feel very, like they can think clear. So fat is a very essential. And over here in the corner, this is the essential omegas. You absolutely should be taking a fish oil supplement, 1 to 3 grams per day, or an omega-3. It's very critical for your brain, your joints, and if you don't eat fish on a daily basis, it's very important that you do get that. Healthy fats, egg yolks, beef, chicken, salmon, pork, coconut oil, olive oil, ghee, real butter. So Pam and I can't believe it's not butter, throw it out. I can't believe it's not butter. It's crap. It is so bad for you. Anything that's like a butter substitute, it's crap, okay? Having that will not make you fat. Body weight times 0.45 grams per day. So 150 pound person. This is just a guesstimate, obvious, like a rough estimate. If I was to do your macros, it'd be a little bit different, but point times 0.45 is 67. Divided by 3 is like, divided by 5 is, 13 grams of fat. And that can come, like if you have, it doesn't have to be spread, I say spread evenly, but you don't want to have 67 grams of fat in one sitting. If you go over that and your carb count is low, so if you're eating protein, your adequate protein, but your carb count is low, so your carbs are between 50 and 75 grams, then you can have more fat than that. Fat is not going to make you fat. Fat is going to keep you fuller longer. One of my favorite breakfasts is having like 3 over easy eggs with some bacon. Like I love that. That's my go-to breakfast. And then sometimes I'll even put some goat cheese on it, and that I stay fuller longer. And it's not contrary to what you believe. So what is a serving of fat? So 1 to 2 tablespoons. That's anything like olive oil, butter, coconut oil, like that you're cooking with, salad dressing, whatever. 1/3 of an avocado, I like to say, is a pretty good serving. Oops, sorry. Egg yolks count, and believe so many people eat egg whites. The nutrition and all the value is in an egg yolk, and egg yolks are so not related to cholesterol. Okay, it's a processed packaged foods, the ice cream, the cookies, the crackers, the candies. That is what is increasing cholesterol. Okay, it's not true healthy fats. All right, so 20 years ago, I just want to share this. This was shocking to me. So we have more than doubled our serving sizes. So if you're going to get a muffin, you are getting 290 more calories on average per muffin. Okay, that's how much bigger they are today than 20 years ago. So if you're getting a muffin, and that's just a standard size, cut it in half. Okay, throw the other half away, because if you're driving in the car, you're going to be tempted to eat it. Pizza, 280 years ago was 500 calories. Now it's 850. And, if you're going to go out to pizza, I recommend splitting a pizza, starting with a salad, okay? And not like a really heavy dressing salad. Ask for the dressing on the side so that you can have an option for that. And starting some water, having a salad, splitting a pizza.
I ate pizza 6 months.
I'm sorry for showing that. Chicken Caesar salad is so terribly high in calories. So is Cobb salad. They're really high in sodium too. But it's not, it says 3.5 cups. That's not the issue. Okay, what's the issue is a lot of times the dressing. The dressing is loaded with calories. So ask for it on the side. Okay, so you may be making a healthier choice, but dip it in. Okay, use 1/3 of it. I know we like it nice and soupy, but at the same time, that's really high in calories. Popcorn. So if you're going to the movies, okay, this is what we used to get 5 cups. Now we get 11 cups. If you just get a regular popcorn at the movies, 630 calories. So what I suggest is pop your own. Skinny pop. I love to do coconut oil and some spice or some, like herbs, and pop my own, and then just bring it in a baggie. You're totally okay to do that. They won't kick you out. But it saves you a lot of calories plus sodium. The sodium is crazy high in that. Cookies. Look at the difference. 1.5 inch diameter to 3.5 inch diameter. And we're mad when the cookies are 3.5. We're like, what? That's too small, right? So if you're gonna have a cookie, try to eat, a half of it. If you're gonna do something sweet, save the other half for later, or like I say, throw it out. So when you give yourself permission to have a sweet, I know a lady that actually, she bought a whole box of donuts, because you could only buy the box of donuts, and she sat on the water's edge and threw the other donuts into the ducks and enjoyed her donuts. So she was able to have moderation because she gave herself permission. And it's not wasting food. I know you think it's wasting food. Okay, so I want to
Krispy
just,
Kreme.
I don't know how to get to downloads on here. Let's see. Hold it, hang with me.
They were Krispy Kreme.
You're funny.
Or the
No, hey, it was all good. Her waistline was good. Her sugar craving was satisfied. Hey, look, we have this like, oh my God, I'm wasting. Like, no, you're not wasting. Okay, I really don't know what I'm doing at the moment.
okay here. Why won't they go ahead and create a half a loaf of bread on the grocery shelf?
Well, why wouldn't you buy a half a loaf of bread, put it in a freezer baggie, and put it in your?
Well, don't buy it at all. Start with it, but don't. People don't eat. You don't need the bread. It's processed food,
Mm-hmm.
and getting the whole grain stuff. That's great, but you still got stuff in it. And if they just made it
Pigs
this
fly.
big,
Pigs fly. They do.
who knows?
The pigs fly bread.
Pigs fly. They'll do
Mhm.
it. I guess. You know what? I did see a new breed of pig the other day. It was brown wing.
It's true. That's it. Okay, so I want to go into this a little bit, and it's the detrimental effects of sugar because we're going into the holiday season. I'm going to try to keep this somewhat short. Am I still screen sharing? Probably not. No. Hold on. Hang with me. Lots of new stuff for me to figure out. Share screen. Sugar. Okay, so the reason I'm bringing this up is because we just had Halloween. There was a lot of candy around. Workplace, there's going to be so much sugar and crap around.
But
So-
they were little.
Yeah, but there was many of them, many little ones.
Game Boy.
Okay, what is sugar? So just want to break it down real quick. I'm not going to give you I can get really into this. I'm not going to, but you have glucose, which is needed by the body, and fructose, which is the F word. Fructose is what we do not need. But they are bonded up together. Right. So there are equal amounts of glucose and fructose in sugar. So what does this mean? How do I get rid of this? Okay. Glucose is carried by your blood throughout your body to be transformed into energy, which is great. That's why it's called blood sugar. As your cells, particularly those in your brain, require a steady supply of glucose at all times. However, with our carb choices, we have a spike, too much glucose, and we have insulin that goes up. We'll talk about that. So we want to make sure that sugar is a disaccharide bond, and it has a 50-50 relationship with glucose and fructose. The bad news means that you can't have honey and maple syrup and agave nectar if you don't want to have cravings. So as we go into the holiday season, if you started eating candy, if you started eating more carbs, if you started eating more sugary things, you're only going to crave more sugar, and this is why. The fructose is talking to your brain, and it is in all these substances, okay? It is true that they are natural sweeteners. However, if you are suffering with the addiction piece, you need to understand the concept. Now, I hadn't had sugar in a long time. I can eat, like, a few pieces of candy, and then I want more candy. Like, I ate Halloween candy, and I literally walked around like a zombie for 3 days wanting freaking candy. So I went to grapes, and you know what I mean? Like, it takes over. So fructose and fruit. So when I say complex carbs, why complex carbs over fruit? I'm not giving fruit a bad rep. I just want you to understand it. Mother Nature made fruit, which came with fiber, which is great. Okay, it's also it's available for a short period of time right before winter. Now, because we're living in the society that we live in, guess what? We have fruit all day, every day. But really, truly, what fruit was made is for the winter seasons to help you put on some weight to make sure that you're hardy enough to survive the winter. Well, we now have fruit all year round, and we pretty much can survive any winter. Fruits are not a problem from an addictive standpoint, but I would recommend 2 servings of fruit per day. Maximum. Okay, so I choose to prefer to get my carbs from complex carbs. If you're trying to quit sugar and you've been having sugar, now I have people from weight loss to maintenance, so depending on where you are. But people come in, they're eating a lot of processed packaged foods that have a lot of sugars in them. So I say, okay, if you need to get rid of the candy and get rid of the crap, go to 5 servings of fruit today and then gradually decrease. And obviously fruit rather than fruit juices because of the fiber. And you'll naturally get full after eating several apples, and you'll probably have some hives and some gas and all that jazz. So high fructose corn syrup, what is this?
Bad hombre.
It is bad. High fructose oh my God, corn syrup is in everything. Well, almost. And look at what it's in. I mean, this is just to name a few. And it's highly addictive. And it causes you to create more cravings. High fructose corn syrup is comprised of the same 2 molecules, but they're not bound together, okay? Because they're not bound together, food manufacturers can add more fructose to sweeten their food, therefore making it addicting. Manufacturers have, this is a fabulous book for anybody that's really interested in learning more. It's not our fault we're fat. Sugar was once a rare resource that nature decided we didn't need an off switch for. In other words, we can keep eating sugar without feeling full. So have you ever had like candy, you just can keep eating it, or you know that like the peanut butter that has it just can keep eating some things that like you can eat till you're almost sick, and then you still want more. Well, there's a reason for that.
Jif.
Oh, Jif is so bad. Manufacturers have exploited our sugar addiction by lacing it through non-sweet products. Okay, this is why I'm bringing this about. Bread, sauces, salad dressings, soups, cereals, crackers. They are lacing it with sugar that does not taste sweet. But that's why we can't put it down. Pretzels, trail mix, granola. Okay, this is all having the same detrimental effect to your waist. Then you get food cues everywhere. Somebody said, I was watching TV and I just want to have this crunchy, salty, sweet thing. Well, yeah, they're advertising it everywhere. Everywhere you turn is something for you to eat. I mean, I pulled into Starbucks today and I'm just like, my good God. I mean, they have mint this and chocolate this and holiday this and eggnog this, and it's just loaded with sugar. So researchers are now challenging that the traditional belief that calories eaten and calories burned equals balanced weight. I believe that's false. Because common sense tells us that if you ate 100 calories of Cheetos and 100 calories of carrots, they're not the same, right?
That's true.
So you ate 100 calories of carrots, or you ate 100 calories of Cheetos or puffs. I think those are cheese puffs. Still 100 calories, but the composition,
The nutritional components, the chemistry.
the chemistry, exact.
Nowhere the same.
Right. Carrots, like they don't have the insulin response at all. You know what I mean? And they have fiber in them. There's no processed packaged things. They have antioxidants, they have vitamins, they have all sorts of good stuff in them.
I can have carrots now.
Yeah. Carrots are, if you look at.
have it on the weight loss program, so.
Oh, absolutely. And maintenance, yes. This is why I'm doing this,
Okay.
like portion sizes and learning how. So let's look at what happens when you consume sugar. Now, mind you, I don't eat sugar. Do you eat crackers? Do you eat bread? Do you like cereal? Do you eat,
You're getting some in it.
okay, right? So you're saying you're not consuming sugar? Sure. You're not eating candy, but you're eating the bread thins, or whatever the hell those things are called, but the fake bagels that are skinny, right? Or you're having wraps.
The little thin
Right.
pretzel thing.
Yeah, or you're having wraps, or you're having some gluten-free
Right.
pasta, or you're having
Okay.
some crackers. Okay, so think non-sugar. When you eat sugar or high fructose corn syrup, it looks like this. So basically you start at 1, your blood sugar rises. Okay, so your pancreas releases this hormone called insulin. Insulin brings your blood sugar down to transport glucose to the energy and to the cells for energy. Well, this is over a short period of time. So, but by the time the insulin is released, okay, your blood sugar has already peaked. Your insulin carries away too much glucose too late. Your blood sugar dips too low. and you don't have energy, you crave sweets, you're hungry and cranky. This is a cycle that we can get into during the holiday season, even if we're not eating sweets, because there's more baked goods, there's more breads, there's more rolls, there's more, you name it, that's not technically sugary things, but they're laced with it. So what happens is you probably grab these because you're hungry in the first place. You're starving, or maybe it's just there. But then before you know it, you feel even more hungry. You're crankier, your cravings. Each time that you eat this, your cravings are going to be increased. So as you can see, you're going up and down. Now the problem with your blood sugar going up and down, your cortisol and your insulin, so that also means that your fat storage is high. Like, okay, we're just going to store this. Okay, so you're going to start to store fat. Each time that your blood sugar, there we go. Each time your blood sugar spikes, you increase the likelihood that your body will store excess energy as fat. Okay, so you're going to gain weight. So what are you learning? If you're going to have a carb or a sugar, you want to make sure that you have it with a balanced meal, right? Eating it by itself and then eating something again, a carbohydrate again, is going to cause you hunger. And when you quickly grab for something, that's where you get in trouble. Okay, so it's the constant spiking of insulin from grabbing even, crackers or whatever. Now, what happens is, like, if you get home and you're stressed and you have a glass of wine, then you have some cheese and crackers, now we're really in trouble, right? So we've really set that up for, and what we're not in trouble, like, that's not going to kill you, that's not going to make you gain weight. But what that is going to do is increase your feelings of hunger, increase your craving. So it's going to make you want other things rather than nice healthy meal. So over time, it's a story of the boy who cried wolf. Your cells stop responding to insulin as they should, and this is a vicious cycle. So you eat, your pancreas makes insulin, your cells resist it, sugar is stored as fat, you get fat, your cells don't have glucose for energy, you feel hungry and you feel tired, you feel lethargic all the time. Okay, so maybe some of you know that cycle, we're in that cycle, and now we're out of it. But that's basically the association. That's the story. Every calorie of fructose is headed straight to your liver to be turned into fat. So fructose is a sugar that you want to make sure to, but fructose can only be metabolized in the liver. So many people that I deal with this right here, metabolic syndrome, insulin resistance, prediabetics, type 2, obesity, cardiovascular disease, high blood pressure, high triglycerides, low HDL, large waist circumference, and high blood sugar. How do we get there?
That was me.
That was you? That's not you anymore, though. So, stress. We're going into the holiday season. Often we increase stress, and we like to say how stressed we are, which only makes us feel more stressed. Stress increases cravings for sweet, fatty, and salty foods. Stress leads to increased cortisol production. Excess cortisol leads to a slower metabolism and fat accumulation, especially in your abdomen. So belly fat, and under your arms. And I always say, if you're extremely stressed, like, definitely don't binge eat, because you are just storing, and that's when we want to eat. That's when we want to emotionally eat. Cortisol also breaks down muscle for energy. Okay, so when you're doing this carb high, like grabbing sugar and then pastry and then a roll and then, one carb after another that has sugar in it, basically you're breaking down your own muscle. You're not giving your body the adequate protein that it needs. So this is a vicious cycle. Too much cortisol makes you gain weight. These are the last two things, and we'll stop here and then we'll go into harnessing, oh my goodness gracious, the small wins, but 2 hunger hormones. These are really important. They are like the 2 partners, intricate dance. Ghrelin is a hunger hormone and leptin is a fullness. Okay, and they work together. So, this will suppress the appetite, stimulate the appetite, and this will suppress it. However, this is before eating, you're not full and you're hungry, and then after, you're full, and so it works. This is how it's supposed to work. However, when you eat fructose, it does not suppress ghrelin, which means what?
So you actually don't do it.
Right. You can eat, and you can eat. I don't understand. I'm not full. So Your appetite does not go down after eating a food that contains fructose, even though your stomach is full. Okay, so if you're hungry throughout the holiday season, do not withhold eating because you're going to a party. Eat a balanced meal. Have a protein. Have a complex carb. Have a healthy fat. Have veggie, healthy fat, and protein, so that your insulin level is stabilized, and then you're less likely to fall into this trap. So let's look at leptin, the fullness hormone. So leptin is released by your fat cells after you've eaten. It tells your brain you're full. It also tells your brain that you have the energy to spare because your stomach is full. So this creates a desire to exercise, right? Like, hey, let's move around, or maybe not.
Oh, I thought this one was the second hand.
Wrong foods, non-optimal food. But if you have too much insulin in your system from eating too much sugar, insulin blocks leptin from reaching your brain. So then guess what? Your brain hangs up, can't hear you, and then you want to take a nap. Okay? So you don't want to work out. So you want to make sure that you're staying away. Insulin resistance leads to leptin resistance, which means to never feeling full. Those people that just always feel hungry, you're not having optimal foods. Okay? So this is exactly, and when I say too much sugar, obviously you know it's not just sweets anymore. So what to take away from that? That's a lot. Okay? The takeaway is balance with protein. Lead with protein, non-starchy, unlimited non-starchy veggies, a healthy fat, and then a small serving of complex carbs. Okay? If you're gonna have fruit, have it pair it with a protein or a fat. It helps to stabilize a little bit more. It's not gonna spike. You don't wanna get into the spike situation. If you are gonna have a dessert, don't have it on an empty stomach, right? Because that's gonna do the same thing. So if you know you're gonna have a dessert, cut your portion sizes down a little bit so that you can enjoy the dessert. Stress, you don't wanna stress eat. Because when we choose foods when we're stress eating, they're not the healthiest foods. We're not like, hey, let's do some carrots and celery. I'm really stressed, right? Instead, we grab foods that are crunchy and granola or chips or something of that sort. So making sure that you're having healthy, balanced meals, getting enough protein in. When you lead with sugar, carbohydrates, simple carbs, even fruit that can break down muscle in your body, you don't want that, okay? We want to keep your range between 100 and 150, 50 to 100 grams for 1 to 2 pounds of fat loss per week, keeping your protein high and making sure that, if you're fruit in moderation. Now, I'm not telling you that if you have dessert, you're falling off the bandwagon. It's totally okay to have a dessert, but making sure that you're not just having sweet after sweet. Okay.
So
Yes.
what would you put, like hard cheese? Would that work?
What would I put with the fruit? Sure, you could do that. You could do an all natural, like almond butter, if you'd like. You could do what to put with fruit. You could even do, like, I know you're saying carrot, like what? Yeah, so you could do a cheese. You could do, I often like have the veggies and the protein. I like to have chicken, like chicken and apple if I want that. Hard-boiled egg is good, not obviously bite to bite, but if you're talking spreads. But you just want to make sure that you stabilize. So, like, have you eaten an apple alone and then been hungry shortly after? I mean, I've eaten apple alone and I'm pretty hungry after. So having either a healthy fat or a protein with it for sure. All right, so now we're going to talk about harnessing the small wins. So the very first thing that I want you to do is mindset. And the very first thing in the morning is I want you to set your intention. Okay, your intention for the day. So I want you to greet the morning and feel gratitude. Like, okay, you wake up and today I'm grateful for what, right? We're going into holiday season, and I have heard so many people tell me, I'm so busy, I'm so stressed, gifts and holiday. You are already setting yourself up for disaster. I've had 2 nervous clients with nervous breakdowns, and it's not even the holiday season. And they're breaking down because they're constantly saying, I'm too busy, I'm too stressed, I'm too this, I'm too that. That is the story. So I want you to wake up and greet your morning and go to the mirror and an affirmation statement. Positive thinking is so key. So having affirmation statement, making sure that you know exactly I am in control today, right, of my food, or I am worthy, or I am deserving, or I am fit. If you're tired, I am energized, right? If I'm sick, I am healthy. You start to feel a cold coming on, oh my God, I'm sick, I'm sick, I'm sick, I'm sick. Ugh, right? If you feel a cold coming on, I am healthy, I'm feeling good. Whatever it is, try to do the opposite and really mean it. So controlling your negative thoughts, okay? Letting negative thoughts go, because this is very detrimental to our stress, right? Our body does not understand that we're not actually experiencing this stress. We can create a tremendous amount of stress in our mind. So making sure that you don't judge, you don't get very negative, critical, judging your journey or somebody else's, and setting realistic expectations for the day and for the week, right? So if you have a really busy week, like I'm going to work out 3 times, I'm going to meal prep is a really good thing as well, making sure that you get those things done that you have. All right, so harnessing the power of small wins in your life. So unfortunately, I feel like so many things are just designed upon weight loss. And we get focused on weight loss, and then we get consumed by our weight. And I want you to start focusing on, okay, your energy, your sleep, your mood, your stress levels. Like, we need those things are wins too. But when we only focus on 1 or 2 things, we really become consumed by it. So if you can harness the power of your own wins, then you're going to be more likely to get to a goal that you never thought you could get to. So at the end of your day, I want you to make a I got it done list. Okay? Because what are we always focusing on at the end of the day? What we didn't get done. What we still have left to do. Like, I can go home and be like, oh my God, my house is a mess. We have no food for tomorrow. I'm not prepared for tomorrow. You know what I mean? But instead, what did I get done today? Because we've got to give back to ourselves. So at the end of the day, write down the things that you got done, however small. Okay, so I got in, I walked outside, I helped. Because what happens is we could eat clean all day and we have like one mix up, like we have one sweet treat. Oh my God, I ruined it. I fell off the bandwagon, da 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 da. You know, I work with a bunch of moms and they're like, oh, my kid's sick. I didn't get to a workout. Oh my God. And all I do is focus on the negative. Well, guess what? Your kid's still living. You know, maybe you got dinner, maybe you got them to school, you know, maybe you got a load of laundry, whatever it is. So celebrating the small wins. So look over your list and reflect on the accomplishments. Feel really into those moments and savor your victories, because what it's been found is that progress is more motivation than the end result, because we're always working towards it. So we'll quit really quickly if we feel overwhelmed. So making progress. Review the I got it done list regularly. So making sure that you write that down each day. And then say you want to, instead of stress about things, say there's something that you didn't get done that you wanted to get done. Okay? What stopped me from making progress on my goal today? Right? I didn't work out. You can make, well, I had this or I had that, or okay, tomorrow, what am I going to do differently? Right? I'm going to wake up 30 minutes earlier, or I'm going to set a boundary. I'm not going to give overtime at work, whatever that may be. Lastly, I want you to finalize and complete your day. So many people have trouble sleeping. So many people go through this thing. I want you to give yourself 15 minutes before you go to bed. And write to yourself, what did you plan, what did you find challenging about the day? So whatever was challenging, get it up. Because often this is something that keeps us up. We ruminate about it, we think about it, we hash it over, go time and time again. Okay, so what did we find I was challenged by, or I'm worried about, or I'm frustrated by, whatever it is, get it out. Okay, completely out. And then you can ask yourself, like, how can I handle this tomorrow? How can I finish this tomorrow? right? How can I start this? Then what are 3 things that you're proud of yourself for today? Okay, we need to be our own cheerleader. Why do you think sports teams are so successful? They have a whole team cheering them on. Okay, so often we need to make sure that we are cheering ourselves on. So 3 things that you're proud of yourself. The next one is, what are 3 things you are committed to doing tomorrow? Committed to doing or thinking. Okay, so tomorrow because when you set your intention, then you have a game plan. And it's like when we have a game plan or schedule, we're productive. Not overwhelming, just 3. And then I want you to give yourself permission for a restful night's sleep so that you can feel rejuvenated and have a great day tomorrow. Giving yourself permission. I, Ashley Marble, give myself permission to have a restful night's sleep. You know, like it's almost like, okay, I put my worries down. I'm proud. This is my goal plan tomorrow. I don't have to think. Like I'm giving myself permission. If you are somebody who wakes up in the middle of the night, do not get up and eat. Do not get up and look at your phone. Do not get up and get mad. Simply take deep breaths in through your nose, out through your mouth, and go back to your sleep. Eventually, you'll train your body. And lastly, why are you worthy, deserving, and good enough to achieve your goal? So I am worthy of achieving my goals because, or I am deserving because, or I am good enough because. These often can become your positive affirmations in the morning, and they help to feel it. That was the last one. So with that, what I want you, I know it's a lot of information, and I try to prepare these and think, okay, I'm not giving enough. But to review, okay? So protein is here, right? Complex carb is here. Fat is here. Non-starchy veggies is here. That's pretty easy to do. Try to balance it. Get at least 3 meals, a minimum of 3 meals in a day like that. Okay? For a lot of people, that's a win. Making sure that if you are going to have something sugary, that you aren't just grabbing, like when you're really hungry, try not to grab something processed, packaged, carbohydrate loaded, without a balance of protein, because the protein will slow it down. If you are going to eat sugar, you're going to crave more sugar. You're not doomed. That's just physiologically what we're designed to do, and that's what manufacturers have spent billions of dollars doing. So know that you're not crazy, but you will have a withdrawal or, you know, want and need for something else sweet. So try to stay away from that. And then just celebrating the small wins. You know, like I went to work today, I showed up here today, like I clean 80% of the day. Like start to celebrate the things that you did good. Focus on the positive in your life. Set an intention, set an affirmation, and close your day, because that will get you success. That will get you happy. That will help change internally here, so externally you start to change. Because that's the key. Because in weight loss and weight management, we start to fear food, fear this, fear that, fear that. And whatever we put our mind to, our energy goes to. So starting to really be proud of yourself for the progress you're making. Any questions?